All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Gold, as now know. Now, welcome to Corporate Radio and Television Station where they give a back to back. So they happen as the suburb for the Obodo Nigerians, still on top of this political analysis and on top of the Bola Ahmed administration, where they give an update as they happen. As matter they happen for this administration, we giving an update, most especially on top of this issue where they trend here and here. That is Nigeria a zoo, which this statement has been come up by FAROTIMI, which all of us know as a publisher, a writer, a word of the man who is not scared of the political aspirant, or a man who has contributed positively to the growth of Nigerians, and most especially on top the youth matter, where we say just to encourage the youth and the Nigerian citizen to contribute positively, irrespective of waiting the shell, waiting the suburb for the country. Automatically, in other words, don't come again just as Peter Obi itself. Don't come on board and give us analysis on how an economy can grow. Not be said to just gather crude oil. It's not a matter of being there. You'll just gather crude oil from here to there. But the most important thing is to make sure that everybody contribute and the government should invest in educations and most especially in agriculture and other department. Watch the video as we play this video right away of Daily FAROTIMI expatiating the difference between a citizen, Nigerian citizen becoming a zoo, and we are not a zoo. That the only problem we have is one or two reasons. We'll be right back. Watch the video.
But they call Nigeria a zoo. Who feeds the animals in this zoo? People are starving to death, literally. I'm not talking figuratively. People are starving to death in Nigeria. A government is administering the starvation of people in IDP camps. Nigerians are dying in droves in the plateau, in the Benue trough. All over Nigeria, Nigerians are being killed by terrorists, quote and unquote. But these are almost, it is not out of place to call the persons being called terrorists direct employees of the Nigerian state. We have heard somebody like Asari Dokubo coming out to tell us that he works for the Nigerian state and is licensed to bear the kind of arms that his boys bear. What kind of state is that? And you still don't believe that look, Nigeria is not a zoo, please. One of the first things that you must take for granted is that when any of the animals in the zoo falls ill, they get treated. They get treated. Look, don't take my word for it. Google it. Dr. Poe. Dr. Poe merely runs a veterinary clinic. His veterinary clinic, you will find him on Nat Geo Wild. His veterinary clinic is better appointed than any of the teaching hospitals in Nigeria. Better appointed not only in terms of equipment, but in terms of personnel. Almost every fantastic Nigerian medical personnel has fled Nigeria. But our people continue to pretend and tell themselves Nigeria is a zoo. It's not a zoo. A zoo is better than this. If a zookeeper should treat a zoo the way Nigeria has been treated and the way Nigeria has been treated, it will be in jail. If you will keep animals, you are under a duty to keep the animal not only in a good environment, in a humane. Do you hear that? Humane. Nigerians are not even treated humanely or governed humanely. If you are treating people humanely, would what happened to that lady in Ibom here? Would it have happened? Would Ibom here have happened if you treat people humanely? And that happens routinely every day. You see soldiers routinely dehumanizing Nigerians, having them roll inside water because they are hyper or because they are this. All you have to do to be able to unleash that kind of madness on the Nigerian is to find a convenient label. That person is a Shia. So because he's a Shia, he suddenly had his humanity taken away from him. It's not enough that he's a Muslim. It's not enough that he's a human being. It's not enough. He's a Shia, and that legitimizes every evil against him. Oh, he's an Igbo man, so he must be IPOP. That legitimizes the madness. Oh, he's one of those who do a Republic people. Shoot him. That's why you could go into Sunday Igbo's house and kill people in his house and pound him into exile. That's why you could carry Nnamdi Kanu and put him in a jail. The same state that is de-radicalizing murderers and terrorists, where does it find the legitimacy or the moral authority to label anybody a terrorist after it has found the space to mollycoddle all manner of terrorists, even elevating one, the light of Pantami, into government? Where is the basis for the legitimacy of a state that routinely mollycoddles terrorists? I'm not going to speak to the merit or otherwise of his arrest, but how do you explain the fact that this person has been in jail for God knows how many years now? The same state that is de-radicalizing terrorists and absorbing them into the army, and so you call that one a zoo. Nigeria is not a zoo. The sooner we wrap our brains around this, the better. A zoo cannot function the way this madness is functioning. They would have shut it down in any country in the world. The fact of the matter is that Nigeria is not a jungle. Jungle follows natural law. The zoo is a construction of men with thinking faculties who build things that reflect the kind of societies that they themselves have built. They observe the animals in a civilized environment. You flatter yourselves when you call Nigeria a zoo. Nigeria is not a zoo, and it is most definitely not a jungle. The sooner you know this, the better. Nigeria is neither a jungle nor a zoo. It is a dystopian nightmare. And why has it become so? Impunity. The only reason the zoo in a modern space is what it is, and why you, a Nigerian, is not living in a zoo, Nigeria is not a zoo, is because the zoo, as I've explained to you, is properly planned. Each species stays in its place. The animals get fed and taken care of. And what is more, the operators of the zoo are under a duty to take care of the animals that they have kept in captivity. Duty. People get sent to jail for maltreating their dogs. If you follow the news, like a couple of years ago, that boy Zuma that was playing for West Ham, the defender, he got done for kicking a cat. They shoot us routinely in this country, and you are calling yourself, if you are going to be calling yourself a zoo, just say that is a Nigerian zoo. So you've already Nigerianized the thing completely. Everybody knows that it's not a zoo in the true sense of the word zoo, but just some dystopian nightmare, because that is what Nigeria has become. That is what it has become. The lack of law and order, the reign of impunity, the complete destruction of the judicial system, the impunity that you see in broad daylight every day, as you saw it with the airport incidences from Oshioli to Kwam 1 to Kwam 2. That is Nigeria for you, a place ruled by impunity. You flatter yourselves when you call it a zoo. It is most definitely not a zoo. And you insult the animals when you call it a jungle. It is definitely, most definitely not a jungle. So let's be clear.
All right, welcome back from that wonderful video of FAROTIMI on his analysis on top of this zoo. And if you check this thing very critically, we are not zoo. Nigerians are wise. We know what we are doing. It's just that we are not privileged to have a good leadership. You know, maybe the problem will get. All right, quickly move directly to Peter Obi on explanations on how economy can grow, where we are lacking, where we are missing it. Listen to wisdom. We'll be right back.
The more a country is educated, the more developed it is. Yeah. Because you're talking about, we are in a knowledge economy. Economy today is not driven by natural resources or material resources or tangible assets. It's not driven by intangible assets. If oil, for example, can change a country, Venezuela will be the best country in the world. Venezuela have 10 times more oil than Nigeria and lesser population. If natural resources can make a country be the best, Congo would have been the best. Congo had the highest amount of natural resources underneath, over 24 trillion. What is driving countries today is knowledge. Even in America, Texas is not the richest state in America. It is California. California is not an oil state, but California today is a country of about 4 trillion economy, 10 times Nigerian GDP. And so it is driven by agriculture, knowledge, and thereabout.
But
so
how can we fix unemployment?
As I'm telling you, by productivity. Simple. The more a country, for you to fix unemployment, the country has to be productive. Nigeria is not productive.
True.
If I go from here now to my house, the only signboard you see is signboard of churches. You go to the east, it's burials. That's not the country. If you go to any other country, you see products. You cannot create a job by doing nothing. Because you're not doing anything.
Praying to God,
you need to be
believing.
Productive.
But how can we be productive?
It's a very simple thing. The government have to drive production. You have to invest money, especially in the youth, SMEs. Small businesses have to be supported. People like her live in school, we have to support them to create businesses. The greatest employer of labor globally, even in developed world, is SMEs. In a big country like China today have almost 800 million people employed and working. That's 4 times the size of Nigeria. It will shock you. The 60% of that, 540 million, are employed by SMEs. In fact, in urban areas, 80% of employment is SMEs, small businesses.
Welcome back from the weather video. Peter Obi speaking on the economic growth, and there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. There's a difference between I have experience and I have what it takes to even multiply the experience. And I be Peter Obi. Peter Obi is a man who has the strategies to bring an economical growth to Nigeria, but due to the cabals and the bad leadership we have and tribalism that is killing us as a country, that's why this is happening. So on top of this matter, I don't want to talk too much, making mobilizing and the neighborhood do take to care. If you are not subscribed to YouTube, try as much as possible. May you take what you call, may you the hear the tin where they happen for the Obodo Nigeria. Watch and share and drop your comment. On top of this matter,
Oya sanwó mi,